Do you need a slap? So am I advocating corporal punishment to try and train motorcycle riders? Or am I just wanting to dish it out to people who use the road badly? No, of course not. But SLAP is an acronym. It's something you don't hear about in CBT or direct access training, but if you're doing advanced training, it's very likely you'll come across this acronym. I'm going to look very briefly at what it means and how you consider using it. So basically, SLAP are 4 points that we can consider before carrying out any manoeuvre. It's particularly useful when you look at manoeuvres such as overtaking, filtering, and using road positions that you would definitely not be taught at direct access level. The first part of it is safety. So basically, whatever you do in considering doing this manoeuvre, it's got to have a high margin of safety. Your safety is always everything, it goes without saying. We don't want to be compromising or risking our safety for any advantage. I appreciate that some people deem as safe and what other people deem as safe may be slightly different, but you need to be realistic about it. Secondly, legal. What you do, it's got to be legal. That requires you to have a good knowledge of the highway code, your road signs, your road markings, and what the law behind them actually means. We don't want any myth, we don't want any guesswork, you need to know. Most traffic offences are absolute offences, which means they're either an offence or they're not, and that's very, very easy once you know what you're talking about. However, as regards standards of driving for careless or inconsiderate driving and riding, that's a bit of a wider remit. We know that anything in the highway code that isn't law, but if you go against it, it can be deemed to be careless driving. And if your standard of driving or riding drops below what is expected of a careful and competent road user, then chances are you've committed an offence. Ultimately, it's for a court to decide. Achieve. So what we're looking at here is the manoeuvre that you're actually going to do. Does it actually achieve anything worthwhile? I always look at the risk versus reward balance on this one. What am I going to gain versus the risk that I'm going to put myself in? It should always be low risk, high reward, or don't bother doing it. If you're not going to achieve anything, for example, like riding on the other side of the road, showboating when it's really not necessary. Some people love to offside because they're an advanced rider, but it doesn't achieve anything. Don't do it in that case. And finally, perception. What is the perception of other road users of what you're doing on your bike? Now, it's very difficult to get inside someone else's head, of course. We can't always be certain what other people think about us. However, if they're flashing their lights, sounding their horn, and gesticulating through the windscreen, you've got a pretty good idea what they think of you. As an advanced rider or motorist, it's very easy to be quite confident and go, well, I know what I'm doing this because I'm trained and I'm better than everyone else. 90+% of other road users have never done advanced training, they've no clue what your knowledge or ability is, and they might see what you're doing as very strange or dangerous. It's something worth considering when you're doing some of your advanced techniques. Try and ride that you set a really good example and other people feel completely neutral about the way you ride. If you pull an overtake on 5 or 6 cars and all those drivers think that's dangerous and you're a bit daft, chances are you are daft. If one driver thinks you're daft and 6 of them think you're okay or very neutral, then chances are you are okay. But it's worth a consideration. So, there you go. Do you need a slap? Yeah, I suggest we all need a bit of a slap. Always consider it when we're going to do some of our manoeuvres. And hopefully that way, it'll keep things in balance and perspective for you. Till next time, ride safe and take care.